Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. This is part 6 of my Creation Kit series tutorial 28 on how to create custom weapons and armor. So I got everything retextured and I'm ready to go. First thing I got to do is get it set up so we can put it into our Skyrim data folder. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the folder I've been using here, and I'm going to move all my Photoshop files. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move that to the desktop so that I only have just this data folder. That's everything I need, and the meshes and the textures. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the meshes folder, and I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call it Demon Glass. Demon Glass. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the armor folder, I'm going to hold control, I'm going to click on the weapons, and I'm going to move them all into that. Then I'm going to go to textures, and I'm going to do the same thing. Demon Glass. Just like that. Hold control and select both of those and move them into the Demon Glass folder so that everything's there. Now my folder's ready to be set up, ready to be put in my Skyrim data folder to use for my mod. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to the top folder here that has data, and I'm going to just copy this just like that, and I'm going to open up my Skyrim data folder, my Skyrim main folder, which I have a link to on the desktop. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to paste it right into here, and it'll ask me if I want to merge. Yes I do, and it's merged in. Now I'm going to open this up, and when I go to meshes, you'll see that I have a folder called Demon Glass, and that's everything that's in there. That's everything I need. I don't need that. Now what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to path the meshes for the armor and weapons to the textures that are in my textures file, which my Demon Glass textures are there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my shield here, and I'm only going to do this one time because I've went over this before in other tutorials. You click on the tree shape, click on the shader property, click on the BS shader texture set. Down here at the bottom you'll see that the textures have come up. Now this is the same shield I used for my Thor, the armor of the legendary Thor Thundercock. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up this first little flower here. I'm going to go to my hard drive, and I got to click all the way through to my Skyrim folder. It's in Steam, Program Files, Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim, Data, Textures, Demon Glass, Armor, and my shield's right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that in there just like that. That gives me that. I really like how that looks. And I'm going to go ahead and same folder, I'm going to put the shield, the normal map in, and then I'm going to put my environmental mask, which is this right here. It says shield, then shield and environmental mask. It's just the _M file. So we got that, and I got to put in a cube map. Now I have a cube map for Ebony ore right here, and that gives me, it's a little shiny. It looks a little shiny, but it won't look so shiny in game. This is just a NIF scope. Now I'm going to want to go ahead and shorten these texture links. So just like I've showed you before, you just go and put your cursor right before textures, and delete everything before textures. Just go ahead and delete it, because you're not going to need that. If you're going to upload the mod, you got to do this. If you're not going to upload the mod ever, and you know you're not, it's fine just to leave the whole link in there, because the game will look for it in that folder. So I got that done. I'm going to go ahead and save. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to path up the rest of my meshes, and when I'm done, we're going to go ahead and get started in Creation Kit. Okay, well, I got it. I got everything pathed out and it's ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my Creation Kit, and I got to wait for it to load up here. Now, I don't have a plugin made for this yet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my little folder here, and this is the point when you're making a fresh plugin that you decide what you want. You got to have Skyrim. I just go ahead and click Update to. If you want to add in Dragonborn and Dawnguard and Hearthfires and the rest of it, you have to realize that those will be required for the mod to work on your computer if you're downloading the mod. Now, here's the thing. I look at it like this. If you don't have Legendary Edition of Skyrim by now, I mean, come on, guys. It's 2017. This game's been out for 6 years. You know? And so, this armor's going to require everything except Hearthfires. I don't need that. So I'm going to go ahead and load up Skyrim by pressing OK. I'm not going to set an active file because I don't have a plugin that I need yet. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and I'm going to go ahead and load it up. And while it's loading up, you'll get errors coming up. And when you get an error, you just click yes to all. I'll show you here in a second. And this is what I was talking about. You get these errors like this. Just click yes to all. These are standard errors that the game will cause anyway, and there's not much we can do about it, so we just click yes to all. And there's a couple of them. And you might get one more. Yep, got one more there, and now it should load up all the way. Okay, I got it all loaded up. Now, what I'm going to do right off the bat is I'm going to go click on the save button here, and this will save it right to my Skyrim data folder, and I'm going to name this plugin Demon Glass. And I'm going to press my save, and it's done. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close Creation Kit, and I'm going to reload it. I'm going to close it, and it'll come up. It usually says that Creation Kit has stopped working. That's fine. Now I've totally closed it, and I'm going to open it back up. So if I want to put it down for a little while and go do whatever, sometimes this will happen. You just go ahead and double click that. Sometimes this will happen, and you bring up this window. You don't need to click on none of this stuff now, because when you click on your Demon Glass file, it'll already be, the parent masters will show up in this little left hand thing here. Set it as an active file, and it gives you a place to put your created file. So it's and say who the author is, and of course that is me. I'm going to put that in there, and my summary that's not really that important. So I'm going to go ahead and load it up. Okay, we got it all loaded up. First thing I'm going to do when I'm making my weapons and armor that I want to do is I'm going to go to my object window, and in under the items list, I'm going to click Armor Add-on. Now I'm going to find me a type of armor that kind of matches what I got. So since I have Daedric Boots, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate the Daedric Boots. I'm going to duplicate the Daedric Cuirass, and I'm going to duplicate the Daedric Gloves, and I am going to duplicate the Daedric Shield. Now while I'm here, I'm also going to do a duplicate of one of the circlets, but I have to figure out which one that I need. So I'm going to click on armor, and I'm going to go to the clothes section. It's like down here, and circulate, and I'm going to take a look. I'm going to preview this one. That's not really what I'm looking for. I don't want the green. You can actually get the textures. That's pretty much what I want right there. So that's circulate too. You can pretty much get the meshes and textures from your Skyrim folder and retexture one to whatever you want it. So I'm going to go back to armor add-on. I do believe that was 2. Check that one more time there. I believe that was 2. Yep. 2 is the one I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my armor add-ons, and I am going to find Circulate 2 AA, and I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to duplicate the Argonian one, and I'm going to duplicate the Khajiit one because I'm going to make it available for all races. Alright, now I have the duplicates for this. Now I need to rename them. So what I'm going to rename this one is 000 RLB, and this is my naming convention. You don't have to use it. You can use what you want. Erase the duplicate at the end. Create new object. No. Are you sure? Yes. Same thing with the Argonian one here. 000 RLB, Circular Argonian AA. I'm going to leave the AA. I'm going to delete the rest of them. And I'm going to go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rename this stuff to my naming convention because it'll make it easier for me to find. Because it's really important that your naming convention starts with like zeros or A's or something like that. That will put it right at the top of the list. Now for my Daedric Boots, I'm just going to, same thing, I'm just going to go ahead 000 RLB Daedric Boots AA. I'm not going to worry about naming them special or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this up, and we'll continue. Alright, so I got that all done up, and that's ready to go. Now we're going to point the meshes at our new armor. I don't have to do it if you use circulates, and the reason I use circulates, we'll get to that. But for like my new boots, double click on this, and what you're going to see here is the biped model for the male and the female. So you want the biped model to be, and I do believe that is just, yeah, the boots. So I'm going to go into Demon Glass Armor. I'm going to go to Weapons. I'm going to go to Male. I'm going to put the boots 1 on there. Comes right up. Those look awesome. And the first person doesn't require first person for boots. The female, I'll go ahead and I will pick the female boots. Just like that, which are pretty much the same. And everything should be good on that. I don't change anything else. So we'll go ahead and hit OK on that. And you'll see in the object window that everything disappeared. That's okay. Just scroll up to the top. It's up here at the top. I already did the boots. And now I'm going to do the cuirass. Now this is a little more important because it has a first person model too. So you're going to go ahead and select your cuirass. And we'll go in here. And it's always the _1 cuirass because that's what the game uses. Yeah, that looks tight as hell. I like that, man. Look at there. If you shut your lights off, or turn your lights off, yeah, there you go. It looks pretty damn good, guys. Now the first person, you click on the first person, and in your armor section there's a first person Curse, Daedric Curse _1. I'm sorry. You're gonna need that. That's for if you play it, and the same thing goes with the female model. You just go into the female model. You get the first person it says first person torso. Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's not something I did. That's something in the mesh, but that's okay. If you get that particular error, just push ignore. And it's got a red glow to it. Now that's not the color red I want, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I need the first person torso for it. I notice that glow right there. And there's the first person torso. Everything's good there. And I'm going to go ahead and fix Daedric Gloves. I'm going to get those up there. And these are the gauntlets 1. Go to male, and in the gauntlets 1 right here. Okay, that's good. And with the female, I'll probably get the same error. With the female, gauntlets 1. Nope, I didn't get it. But I have the glow is kind of showing. It kind of shows. I know there's supposed to be glow coming off of it, so that's okay. And now I need to do the shield. Now the shield, there's not a first person shield armor, and I'll use this, and that changes that, and that looks great. There's not a first person shield for this. So the first person shield and the regular shield is pretty much the same thing. So we'll just go ahead and stick that in there. It doesn't really, it's the same kind of model. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these in here. Okay. And the first person shield, you got to make sure to do the first person as your shield, because if you don't, you'll end up getting the original shield. There, that's all good. Now I want to fix that glow on that female Curse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save my mod, and I'm going to go ahead and shut Creation Kit down, and then I'm going to open up Nifscope, and I'm going to show you how to fix that glow. Alright, I got Nifscope open. What we want to do is we want to find that glow on the mesh itself, and it could be a little hard to find. That's the body. There it is right there. That's the glow. Now I'm going to want to change that glow, so I'm going to open it up here, and I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to open up the shader property, and I'm going to open the BS shader effect, and right down here is the shader effect. I have the male armor open, and I will go ahead and I will open this up, and this is just going to be copy and paste. There's nothing hard about this. So you notice that it says the UV scale is 15. So I'm just going to go ahead and double click on that, and I'm going to copy that, go back to my female set, paste this in here like that, go back to my male set, copy the green, female set, same thing. And it's just copy and paste. It's no big deal. So, and I'm going to copy the blue. Although I liked the red, I kind of liked the red. It won't match with the male armor. I want it to match. So I'm going to go ahead, and the reason I closed Creation Kit when I did this was because when you change mesh, you have to reload it on the Creation Kit. So you'll have to open it back up. Now you can see that's that blue color. So now I'm going to go ahead and save this. That's saved right there, and I'm going to close this one down here, and I'm going to close this one. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have closed that one because I might need it. So I'm going to open it back up just in case. I'm going to open that back up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and absolutely make sure that my female armor matches my male armor. And as you can see with the _0 NIF, it doesn't, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this again just like I did with the other one, and I'm going to get this set up and we'll be continue on from there. Okay, so while I got it all set up, let's go ahead and open up not the Daedric Boots, don't want that. We're going to open up the Daedric Cuirass again, and we're going to open up the female. We'll get that, that's fine. And now it's got that blue glow that I'm looking for. And this is kind of not the best way to preview the armor, but as you can see, it's got that blue glow coming out of it, and it'll be a blue glow on the armor, and I think that's just awesome as hell. Alright, so we're gonna take a look at the circlet. This is just going to use the vanilla meshes, so that's fine. Now we're going to go to our armor, and what we're going to do in our armor is we're going to find our Daedric Boots. We're going to go ahead and duplicate those. We're going to duplicate our cuirass. We're going to duplicate our gauntlets. And I'm going to slide down here to close. And I'm going to find my circlet 2, and I'm going to duplicate that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rename the circlet 2 to 000 RLB circlet, and I'm just going to leave it as circlet because I don't need the rest of that. Yep, and that's fine for that. Now I'm going to go back up to my duplicates I have for my Daedric, and I'm going to rename all of these, and then we'll go from there. And one thing I forgot to do, I forgot to duplicate his shield. So that's done, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rename that 000 RLB and duplicate shield. There we go. No and yes. Now I see that it already changed, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the boots first. We're going to open these up, and I'm just going to change the name of them to Demon Glass Boots. This is what will show up in game. It'll say Demon Glass Boots. That's fine. The enchanting, I'm not going to enchant them. I can choose to make them heavy or light armor, and I happen to like the fact that they're heavy armor right now. I like that, so I'm going to leave them as heavy armor. What you can do is duplicate your own duplicate, and then just like put 00 and then put 01 and make it a light armor and a heavy armor set of both, so that you cover all the bases. But I'm just going to go ahead with just the heavy armor. My armor rating 18. I'm going to make it 25. Just kick it up just a little bit. Now here's the thing, this is where a lot of people make mistakes, is the models. You want to click on show all, right click new, and you'll see that yours are up here. So you want to go ahead and you want to add yours in here, and then you go ahead and delete. Just click on it and press delete, and now this record points to this armor add-on, and it'll be playable in game. Okay, I'm going to bring that back up. Now the world model's a different story. We're going to go. The world model would look like this. Now we have a world model for our Demon Glass armor, and in the males it is the boots, Daedric Boots Go. We're going to set that. Those look so cool, and that's fine. You don't have to do the world model for the female. I actually don't believe there is one for this set. We'll look here. No, there isn't one. So what you can do is, just to cover your bases, you can go ahead and hit that, and then you can put the male Daedric Boots in there just like that, and that'll work fine. And that piece is all ready. And what you want to do is you want to do that with every piece just like that. You want to make sure your armor add-on that you copied and pointed towards your text, your mesh is the correct one, and then you point the world model at the world model you have for your thing here. You don't have to do female, but you know, I'm going to just do it anyway just because. And then I'm going to rename this Demon Glass armor, just like that, and I'm going to leave everything like that. I'm going to kick this up to 49 is a little low. I'm going to kick it up to 65. Okay. And what I usually do, I see my armor rating's 25 here, so my gauntlets, I want to make the armor rating on those 25 as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it. I'm going to set my armor model first, which is this one. I'm going to get rid of my old armor model there. That's set. And I know I'm going over this again and again, but this is the way you learn, guys. So I need my gauntlets go, which look real cool with those blue claws, I think. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put the female version on as the gauntlets glow. That way the game covers all its bases and everything good there. And I'm going to type in Demon Glass gauntlets. That's all good. Everything's great there. And that's fine. Okay, so now for that, we're going to do this with the shield. Demon Glass shield. And my armor rating, I'm going to make this 65 as well, because we're going to make it better. When I say we're going to make it better, we're going to make the forge recipes for this stuff. Put your armor add-on in the model slot and delete the original. And then you want to do your world model. This is important. This is the one that shows up in the menu when you look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set both of those just like that. Everything's good there. That's all done. Right? Okay. And now we're going to do this circlet. Now this is kind of important. You'll see we're just gonna put Demon Glass circulate. It's not actually glass, but it'll be okay. You'll see to choose it to make it armor is right here. That's all you got to do. and then set an armor rating on it. And I'm going to make that 25. And what I'll do is I'll dupe a helmet. What I'll do is I'll dupe a helmet recipe, and then I will set it to where it makes this, so you'll be able to make it on the forge. And what you want to do is make sure your model is set. Where's my circular? Okay, yeah, see, now you got a few of these. So you want to go ahead and with your circular, you want to go ahead and make sure show all. There we go. You want to go ahead and make sure that all of them are shown. And then the originals, I held control to highlight them all like that. I'm just going to delete those. And there I have a armored circlet. You can do it yourself. It's no big deal. So now I got an armored circlet. Now technically we have our weapons and armor in game. If we put them on a character, they'll work just fine. Or I should say we have our armor in game. We haven't got our weapons in game yet. So we're going to do our weapons. And I'm going to click on weapons here. And you want to pick something that closely resembles the stuff that you want to use. As far as damage goes. So I'm going to duplicate the Dragon Bone Bow because I like the damage level on it. I don't have to really play with it too much. I'm going to duplicate the Dragon Bone Sword, and I am going to find, if I can find it here, let's see, Battle Axe, Dragon Bone Battle Axe, no, Dragon Bone Greatsword, and I'm going to duplicate that. Now I'm going to rename all of these, and then we'll go from there. And I'm going to rename these 000 RLB, and I'm just going to have this one be Bow, just like that. And then I'm, instead of leaving all the DLC stuff, I'm just going to, because this is my, these are just the weapons I'll have. So I'll just go ahead and I'll rename all of these to the type of weapon because it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I have my weapons set up and almost ready. Now I'm going to go to, and I'm going to click on ammo. And I'm going to find a arrow that I want that has approximately the same. Yeah, that'll work right there. I'm going to duplicate the arrow here, and I'm going to change the name to that to RLB arrow. And I messed up. I want that to be capitalized like that, and we'll start with the arrows. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this up, and it'll say arrow Daedric projectile, and it'll ask for the projectile. So what I'm going to need to do first, I'm going to need to set my model here, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick my glass arrow that I made. That's pretty. It's got my channel symbol, my YouTube channel symbol right here on the back of it. Yep, that's right. I'm advertising all the time. So I'll go ahead and okay, what I'm going to have to do, I got this. So what I need is the projectiles. And I think what I'm going to do is type in projectile. And then I'll go down and I'll click on all. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. And I think we'll open this one up. And this is pretty much what I'm looking for, except I'm going to use the arrow Daedric projectile I'm going to duplicate that, and I am going to rename that, and I ain't going to worry about anything else here. I'm just going to go ahead and change that, and I'm going to open that up, and it'll say art file, and if you look at it, it'll say art file, and it'll say Daedric Arrow Projectile, and it's the only thing that it gives you. So we're going to open this up, and I'm going to go to my weapons, and I'm going to use Glass Arrow Flight because that's the correct one. And it'll say this is where you can determine that you can make the arrows go faster here if you want. Detection sound level normal or very loud. Well, I'm going to make mine silent because, I mean, how many times have you fired off an arrow at a bandit, and just before you hit the bandit, the damn bandit moves to the side and you completely miss, and you're like, what? So, and it gives you a range of 60,000. I'm going to change the range to just a little bit more, 65,000. My impact, and the rest of the stuff I ain't going to mess with. My speed, I'm going to make it run a little bit faster, so it'll be 38. It'll be a faster arrow. And critical effect, pins limbs. Hey, we're going to try that. And that's about it. We can actually make an explosion if we want to, but we're not going to do that. Muzzle flash is just like a gun. You can choose what kind of light goes off when it hits its target if you want. I ain't going to do all that. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to click on that, and then we're going to go back to our ammo, and I wipe that filter out, and I'm going to click on arrow, and I'm going to look in this list, and there's my Daedric Arrow Projectile. And it gets added with the keywords, it gets added into the leveled list, so you can actually sell it. So we're going to change the name to that as Demon Glass Arrow. And you can change your value. We're just going to make it 10. And the damage is 24. That's a little low, I think. I think we'll go ahead and make the damage 50. Because I want it to hit him and, like, you know. And you can actually set it to where it ignores normal weapons resistant. That's always good. Like, what that means is that it ignores armor. It's like with some of the stuff in the game that ignores armor when it hits them. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. So our arrow is we got our arrow all set up. It's ready to go. And now we're going to go back to our weapons. And I'm going to go up to the top here, and I'm going to go to bow. And I'm going to change that to Demon Glass Bow. Enchanting, you can actually enchant it if you want to. I usually don't, especially if I'm making the mod for other people, because then that way they can enchant it themselves. Value 2,700. You're not going to get that much, but I'm going to put in 3,500, just like that. And I can see right now we got something else to do. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to type in the filter. I'm going to type in first. I don't want to put a space there. First person, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and click on all, and you'll get a whole list of the first person objects. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to duplicate the greatsword, and I'm going to duplicate that. And I do believe that's all I have to duplicate. Right, I'm just going to duplicate that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give these my naming convention. All the way down, I'm going to wipe the duplicate off the end. Create object, no, yes. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Okay, we got it finished up. I'm going to go ahead and open up this Daedric Bow, and what I want to do is I want to set this path to my glass bow skin, which it is a glass bow, and boy, that's pretty. Look at that. Look at that. That's a pretty bow. I like that. That black and blue. Oh yeah. And there's a few things you can do on this. This is just a static object, so you don't really want to do nothing to it. And it all changed, so you go up to the top. I got the bow done. We'll do the sword. You're going to like this because this is going to be real fun here. And we'll open up the demon glass because you get to see what I did with the weapons. Now, I probably want... it says the first person, so I'm going to use the first person Dawnbreaker sword that I made. Bam! Look at that. Bam! That's awesome. It's going to all glow like that. That is awesome. Yes. And now I want to do my great sword. This is a good one too. This one isn't going to glow in any way, but it is still really cool because it's the Ebony blade retextured. Look at that. That's beautiful, man. Oops. I lost it. There it is. That's just beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so I have my first person objects done. I'm going to go scroll up and I'm going to click on weapons. And I'm going to clean out this filter so I get what I'm looking for. And I'm going to open this back up. My demon glass bow. That's good with that. Now, my model is basically, I want that glass bow skinned. Open that up. Okay. And my first person model will go, I got it, and you have to scroll up here, and as you can see I got it here. That sets that. Go to game data, and this is where you set your damage. 20 is a little bit low. I'm gonna go for 45, and my critical damage I'm gonna make 20, and critical on effect, that is critical effect on death, causes different things. You can actually put like fireball explosions. I believe you can do sound effects. I'm not sure. I really haven't looked over this too much. Just different things. You can conjure. You can have it conjure up things. You know, you can play with that yourself and just kind of see what it does. Now your flags here, this will actually require your NPCs to use up the arrows that you give them, but I'm not going to put those up. You can make it a player only weapon. I'm not going to do that either. Now if you check bound weapon, the thing about a bound weapon is you have to create a spell and an effect for a bound weapon and then go from there on that. I'm not going to do that, so now we're going to go to Rumble, and that's all good. And the art and sound, that's all good. Make sure you don't use first person is animations and stuff is not checked. We don't want that checked. The inventory image, that's going to be looking for a texture file. Now what you can do is you can actually take an image of like a screenshot of your bow, and then take it into Photoshop and make a DDS file of that screenshot, you know, crop it down, and then put that in there as the inventory image, but I'm not going to worry about that. You could put a scope on it as long as you have the proper meshes and everything for it. And the sound detection is silent. That's good. And that is done. Now I'm going to go to my greatsword, and pretty much the same thing. I'm going to set this all up with this. So I'm going to change this to Demon Glass, and that's fine. The template, what is that? Template. Oh well, that's not what I was looking for. I just kind of made sure everything was template none. That's better. Okay, so I'm going to do the damage. We're going to start it at, oh, I don't know. Let's start it at 70. And you could do a critical hit multiplier on this, which I am going to do, and that is, it multiplies the damage. Same thing, critical damage. We're going to make that 25 because it's a great sword. And that's all good. And then we go back to here, and it's just like with the bow. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pick our first person ebony blade, I believe is what I want. No, that's not what I want. I want just the ebony blade. There it is right there. And then I'm going to do my first person, which will be my first person greatsword that I made. And that's all good. That's, everything's good there. And our game data 70. Yep, that's, we're normal. Yeah, that's all good. This here, I'm going to unclick that for the animations, and that'll be good on that. And now we're going to do the sword. Oh, I guess I should spell it right. Demon Glass Sword. And we're, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set this, and I believe I put that at 50, so I'm going to do the sword at 45. And it's going to have a regular there. Critical damage, I'm going to kick that up to 15. And that's good there. And we're going to do the art and sound. I'm going to uncheck these, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put my Dawnbreaker version in there. That's awesome. I like that. That's awesome. It's going to look awesome in game. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys, I know what I'm talking about. I've done this before, not with this, but not with this particular one, but I have done this before. So that's all good. So we got our weapons set up. We've got our arrows. Now what we need to do is we need to do our recipes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type a recipe into the object window. I know this is getting long, getting to be about an hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this video right here, and we're going to continue with next episode doing the recipes. Alright. Hope this helped out. I hope you learned something from this. And remember, guys, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button and share on social media. And remember to click the bell for notifications for new episodes. And tune in for the next part, episode 7, and we'll start with recipes.